Okay guys, so for this video we'll be tying up all the concepts that were just taught and we'll be going over how I analyze the markets and find my trade ideas. So the first step is we have to go on the higher time frame and we have to determine what exactly is the trend or the institutional order flow as ICT says. So going on EU, we can see that we are definitely in a downtrend. So we are bearish. So we now know the trend is bearish. So once the trend is determined, we now know whether we are buying or selling. So now we are looking for sells. The next step, we analyze the high time frame. So since we are looking for sells, we have to look for institutional resistance, or basically any type of resistance levels that will indicate that price will continue the downtrend. So what do I mean by this? So as we can see here, we can see that this can possibly be a retracement, since this was the high, this was the low created, and price came back, retraced to our 0.705 area and 0.79 between those levels, and those levels are levels that I like. We also can see another institutional resistance being this order block. So now that we analyzed the higher time frame and found institutional resistance, we go on the lower time frame and find institutional resistance, because on the higher time frame is just to see what exactly is the trend and to see if we are in a place to be selling. So now that we see on a daily that there is some institutional resistance in this area and we're expecting to see some type of rejection, we go on the lower time frame to see if there's any confirmation of that, and on the lower time frame there's not really anything clear. So what we do is we just let price do its thing and try to see if price does reject off our daily institutional resistance levels. So we can say this is a bearish, daily bearish order block with a retracement. With retracement levels, using our retracement levels. So we let price do its thing and we try to see for any signs of bearishness from there. So yeah, we see a nice rejection, but this doesn't confirm that we're going to start seeing a bearish. We're going to start seeing price just fall, because we have to see first if price takes out this low, because if price takes out this low, then it's a confirmation that this was actually a place where we can expect bearishness from there. We can also see a 4-hour order block being formed, but this wouldn't be valid until we break this low and confirm we are bearish. As we can see, took out the low. Now this order block is validated, so we place our entry, stop loss above the high, and I go for 1 to 2. Why 1 to 2? Well, if you go to the psychology section of the course, I explain why I always pick 1 to 2. Because see, look, there's a fair value gap in here. We can obviously see this fair value gap cleanly. And we can expect price to rebalance itself to this area. So I could do this, but I choose 1 to 2 because, like I said, you'll see it in the psychology section of this course why. So we see price. Let's see if price hits our entry. Nope, not yet. Nope, price falls. Nope. Oh, price really falls. So okay, price comes back. So now price took out these lows and it created a high and a low. So now not only do we have a 4-hour order block, but we also have it coming back to our retracement level. Price hits our entry. See, if price takes out these highs, then we're bullish and this daily institutional resistance was invalid. But as we see some type of rejection and price rejects. We can also see that price creates an 4-hour order block inside of an order block. Let's see on the 1 hour if there's anything clean. No, not really. So yeah, 4 hour, we see price reject. And there you go, TP is hit. We also see that there is a 4-hour order block being formed. So if price does come back, that could be possibly another trade idea. However, our first trade idea, our TP, was hit. So that's how I find trade ideas. So now obviously we know that this is a rejection area, so price will start falling, and we should start looking for more sells, more institutional resistance, whether it's an order block, a breaker block, fair value gap, all these confluences, and also during kill zone area. Oh yeah, I never mentioned the kill zone. Let's see at what time was this at. This was at price rejected around 3 a.m. Around 3 a.m. as you can see. So that entry. So around 3 a.m. price did, if we were to enter at 3 a.m., price rejects during London session, as we saw. And as I mentioned, during London session is London and New York session kill zones is when price creates big movements, and it's when the markets are most volatile. So yeah, we saw that price rejected, and let's just see what price does from here on. Oh, price came. Okay, so we saw that price did come to the 4-hour order block, but it wicked us out. However, this order block to me was valid because all the bodies were respected. It never went over the high. It's just that the wicks wicked it out, and this wick could possibly be due to whether it's news or anything as such. But we see that the bodies did respect this order block. Yeah, so price continued down, and as we mentioned, this was indeed a bearish order block with a retracement level with a 4-hour block on the lower time frame being respected and a break of market structure. So like I said, this would be my main trade idea, and then from here on out I would look for sells. I would have sold from here, but as we saw, we did wick out, and sometimes we do take losses like these, and we have to accept that, but more times than we lose, but we will succeed more times than we lose, and that's all that matters. Our goal is not to have a 90% accuracy. Our goal is just to be right more than we are wrong, or have an at least 50% accuracy using a 1 or 2 risk to reward. So yes, that is it.